called everyone to the dining table, which had bbeen extended to accommodate the 15 or so family members present. Once we were all seated with plates of food, she stood and tapped her glass with a spoon. "We've gathered you all here today for a special reason," she began, beaming. "Melissa has some wonderful news to share." Melissa stood, clearing her throat dramatically. 2 weeks ago, she announced, her voice dripping with satisfaction, "I bought my own apartment in Westridge Heights." The room erupted in applause. Westridge Heights was indeed one of the nicer areas in town, though far from the most prestigious. "It's a gorgeous 2-bedroom, Melissa continued. "Mom and Dad helped with the down payment, of course." She blew them a kiss, which they received with beaming smiles. "When's the housewarming party?" Cousin Brian called out. Melissa simpered. "Oh, I haven't decided yet. Still getting everything perfect." I smiled to myself, taking a sip of water. Good for her. It was a nice accomplishment, even if she needed our parents' help. Mom suddenly turned to me, her voice unusually loud. "Donna, you haven't congratulated your sister." All eyes turned to me. Melissa giggled. "She's probably just jealous. Not everyone can afford property in this market." My parents exchanged knowing smiles. Then Mom, making sure everyone could hear, said, "Well, it'll be a long time before Donna can match this achievement. Property ownership is for those with real careers." The table fell silent, everyone watching for my reaction. They expected embarrassment, perhaps tears or stammering excuses. Instead, I laughed, a genuine, spontaneous laugh. "Actually," I said, "I bought my place 2 years ago." Melissa's smile faltered. "A condo, you mean? Or a townhouse?" I took another bite of food, chewing slowly, making them wait. "No, it's an apartment. 4 bedrooms, corner unit, with a wraparound terrace in Lakeside Tower." Gasps around the table. Lakeside Tower was the most exclusive address in the city. "That's impossible," Melissa sputtered. "You were a middle manager. You couldn't afford a broom closet in Lakeside." I dabbed my lips with a napkin. "I've been financial director at Berkshire for 3 years now. My salary and bonuses are comfortable." The shock on their faces was priceless. Dad's fork clattered onto his plate. "Financial director?" he repeated. "Why didn't you tell us?" I met his gaze evenly. "None of you ever asked." A heavy silence fell over the table. Then Mom's expression suddenly softened. "Darling, that's wonderful news. When are you having your housewarming? We'd love to see this apartment." "I had my housewarming 2 years ago," I replied calmly. "With friends." Mom's smile stiffened. Melissa's face had turned an interesting shade of red. The rest of my relatives were looking at me with newfound interest, as if seeing me for the first time. Uncle Jim raised his glass. "Well, congratulations, Donna. That's quite an achievement." Others murmured agreement while my parents and Melissa sat in stunned silence. As dinner continued, I noticed how everyone suddenly wanted to talk to me, ask about my job, my life. People who had barely acknowledged me for years were now hanging on my every word. I didn't stay long after my revelation. The atmosphere had become unbearable, my relatives suddenly fawning over me, Melissa sulking in the corner, and my parents switching between shock and an unsettling eagerness to reconnect. I made my excuses after dessert, citing an early morning meeting. "But it's Sunday tomorrow," Mom protested, following me to the door. "Global markets don't sleep," I replied, which wasn't entirely untrue. I did have a call with our Tokyo